So what if you could create a life-saving drug not in a decade, but in just a matter of months? That's the incredible promise of artificial intelligence. And honestly, it's on the verge of completely reshaping one of the world's most critical industries from the ground up.
And you know that title is seriously well-earned. India is a global leader, an absolute powerhouse when it comes to producing affordable, generic drugs and vaccines for the entire planet. But even a powerhouse has its weak spots.
And this right here is where our story really gets going. Researchers are looking at AI not just as some kind of minor upgrade, but as a genuine, fundamental solution to some of the industry's oldest and most stubborn problems.
Because that's really what it all boils down to, right? For an industry that's all about saving lives, its biggest hurdles are the unbelievably slow pace and the staggering cost of innovation.
So, before we jump to the cure, let's take a second to diagnose the illness. What exactly is holding back the traditional way we've been making medicine for so long?
Think about the old-school path to a new medicine. It's like this massive, high-stakes gamble. You've got scientists manually sifting through millions of molecular compounds, just trying to find that one perfect key to fit a biological lock. Then comes the billion-dollar bet, years and years of clinical trials where, get this, over 90% of drugs fail. It's a process that takes a decade with absolutely no guarantee of a payoff. It's kind of wild.
Okay, now let's bring in the game changer. What happens if we could apply a totally new kind of intelligence to this very old problem? So what does that actually mean for making medicine? Well, it means having a researcher that never gets tired, that can read every single medical study ever published. It means having a scientist that can spot hidden patterns in our DNA and a strategist that can analyze market data in seconds. It's all about applying superhuman speed and scale to very human problems.
And this comparison just lays it all out, doesn't it? We're not talking about small, incremental improvements here. We are talking about a radical transformation. One AI-assisted platform got a drug to the clinical trial stage in under a year, a process that normally takes 4. This isn't just about being faster. It's about being smarter, using resources way more effectively, and cutting down on those incredibly costly failures.
So, how does this digital cure actually work in practice? Let's follow the journey of a single pill and see exactly where AI steps in to lend a hand. You see, AI's impact isn't just at one single point. It's woven into the entire fabric of developing a drug. It's like having a brilliant researcher at the very beginning, an ultra-efficient factory manager in the middle, and a super-savvy market analyst at the very end. Let's break down how it revolutionizes each of these 5 critical stages.
Right at the start, in the earliest stages, AI acts like a super researcher. It can chew through massive genetic and biological databases, spotting these tiny little patterns and connections that would be completely invisible to a human scientist. This helps pinpoint the most promising targets for new drugs, saving years of potentially wasted effort.
Okay, so once a drug is ready for production, AI switches gears and becomes this hyper-efficient factory manager. It can actually predict when a machine might fail before it happens, which prevents these really costly shutdowns. It optimizes schedules, it manages inventory, it just makes the whole process smoother and way more reliable.
And this is where it really starts to feel like science fiction. Using computer vision, AI systems basically act as inspectors with superhuman eyes. They can scan every single pill on a production line, spotting microscopic flaws that are totally invisible to a person, guaranteeing a level of safety and quality it was just never possible before.
And its job isn't even done when the medicine is made. AI then becomes a market strategist. It analyzes sales data, what competitors are doing, what patients need, all to help companies make smarter decisions about things like pricing, distribution, and planning for the future.
Of course, a revolution this huge is never going to be easy. The promise is absolutely enormous, but you know what? So are the obstacles.
So this whole revolution faces some pretty major hurdles. First up, you've got the human and financial cost. We're talking huge investments, and the workforce needs a whole new set of skills. Then you've got the massive issues of trust and safety. How do we protect sensitive patient data? How do we navigate this maze of regulations? And finally, there's the big ethical question. How do you create clear rules and oversight for such a powerful technology to make sure it's used responsibly and safely?
So, with all those challenges in mind, what's the prognosis? What does the path forward actually look like for India? So why push through all those hurdles? Well, the answer, in a word, is growth. The economic incentive to get this right isn't just big, it's absolutely transformative. Now look at this, because the sheer scale of this forecast is incredible. We're looking at a jump to $130 billion by 2030.
That's more than tripling the market. That kind of explosive growth, well, that's what happens when a powerful industry embraces a technology that can literally change everything.
And this isn't just some wishful thinking. The foundation for this is already incredibly strong. A nearly 12% compound annual growth rate in exports for almost a decade. That shows a sector that's already robust, resilient, and totally ready for its next big evolutionary leap.
But that growth isn't just going to happen on its own. The single biggest takeaway here is that this requires a unified strategy. Government and private industry can't be working in their own separate worlds. They have to collaborate on building the digital infrastructure and, maybe most importantly, on educating a whole new generation of scientists and technicians for this new era of medicine. So, at the end of the day, this is where we're left. AI offers a clear solution to those fundamental challenges of cost and time that have plagued medicine for a century. The potential is right there. The only question is whether all the pieces can come together to finally unlock it.